fire falling from the sky. Gotta outrun that. There's no looking back. 'Cause this place on fire and it's burning up. If I stay here, then my days are rough. It's burning up, it's burning up. So I better get out this maze. Better run away, better find my way. But monsters in my way. But I cannot stay.
This shit high, boy.
404, bitch.
It's been too long to be playing around with you. If you down, then you know I'm down. It's true that you think I could do you wrong. Baby, I would never. I wrote too many songs, they all about you. I thought you knew that I was all about you. Do you think I fuck it up? 'Cause baby girl, I would never. I've been thinking about you all damn day. While you worry, love, you know that I'm gon' stay. Every moment got it on replay in my cranium. Everything you say, you are worth too much. You're my treasure. Fuck this up, baby. I would never. Too much, I can't measure. Do you wrong, baby? I would never. I remember last winter at a family dinner. You got hella mad, said I was flirting with your sister. Remember in the summer at a family supper, you got pissed off, thought I was flirting with your mother. Recalling last autumn, flashing week in London. You were obsessed that I was lying down a motto. Thinking back to spring, you saw a couple out to eat, and then you started crying 'cause you thought that it was me. I wrote too many songs, they all about you. I thought you knew that I was all about you. Do you think I fuck it up? 'Cause baby girl, I would never. I've been thinking about you all damn day. While you worry, love, you know that I'm gon' stay. Every moment got it on replay in my cranium. Everything you say, you are worth too much. You're my treasure. Fuck this up, baby. I would never. Too much, I can't measure. Do you wrong, baby? I would never. You deserve everything, baby girl. I promise I'm down. One day I'll cop a wedding ring, but even before that I'll stick around. You're insecure and I get that, so I'ma do what I can to keep us intact. I fell for you with no impact, 'cause I ain't never hit the ground yet. Ain't lying when I tell you I've been thinking about you all damn day. While you worry, love, you know that I'm gon' stay. Every moment got it on replay in my cranium. Everything you say, you are worth too much. You're my treasure.
Ladies, gentlemen, and those held in contempt of gender, welcome back to the Dire Bear Adventuring Company. It is once again, and against all odds, Saturday. If you're here with us tonight, congratulations on making it through the week, and as your reward, you are invited to sit with us as we take you through another episode of The Stolen Cities. We are unfortunately not joined tonight by Christian, who plays Ralokan. However, fortunately, it is his birthday, so I invite everybody to join me in celebrating my friend's birthday. He's a very close friend of mine of about 10 years, so it is with great joy that I say that he is spending the time with his family, and I hope he's having a good one. Spaz Borth. However, I am still, nevertheless, joined by my wonderful compatriots, Venelin, Ross, and the ever-lovable automaton known as Jason. That is not unsettling at all. That is, there's a vein in your forehead. That is, this is, this is some mega mind shit. This is terrifying.
It's very
I
JoJo.
know not what forces Lucas will bring about upon the party, but I am terrified to find out. Oh Lord, get it away! In any case, when we last left our adventurers, Venelin was recently reunited with her second father, Aethlin. A little bit worse for wear and definitely much deeper in the throes of his budding vampirism than she or anyone expected. And for the sake of ensuring their safety, both from the elements, from the night creatures, and from the residents of Montefiore, who might take issue with the fact that her father is turning into a vampire, Venelin has made the executive decision that the party take up shop within Nelahir's library, simply to rest for the night. You guys are just making it back to the old oak tree through which you found an entrance into the library. Aethelin seems to have regained his composure somewhat. His gait has straightened back to its typical form, many of his wounds have healed, and he seems to have taken the time allotted to him by the walk to sort of clean up the blood from his face and hands as he was tending to the displacer beasts, which the party so deftly dispatched.
Papa, this is Jason, Ralakan, and Cross. They have been
Hello.
my traveling companions during my
Pleasure to meet
time
you.
left behind in Madengard. Nope, I wasn't left behind in Madengard, which frick. I actually don't remember the city's name. Where the fuck does Spaz live?
The Heights.
But I was left alone in the Heights.
You know, that hit a lot less hard before the movie came out. There's a movie based on a musical called In the Heights. So it's
I haven't watched it.
good. The musical is much better. The movie is a problem.
Okay.
In any case, you've been traveling with my daughter, have you not?
Indeed, I have. We have first met in Madengard, where she took me in and found a place to stay and helped me become a person of the city. She's been a great help to me.
And she helped me regain my memories.
Well, I'm glad she's been able to keep the three of you alive. I hope she can continue to do so. And in return, you'll have her back should she do something reckless, as she is occasionally wont to do.
Reckless, huh? No.
Does Cross
He
say
kind of
that loud?
chuckles.
Does he say that out
Yeah.
loud?
Yeah.
Venalis is like, maybe don't try and lie to my father. That's.
Oh no, that was just dripping with sarcasm on purpose.
Aethlin chuckles a bit at that. He goes, she's her father's daughter. I'll be honest with you. Given my condition, I was apprehensive on returning.
Yes, well, your condition is another matter altogether. Especially considering the fact that you're resisting it, which is going to make it worse. I know it wasn't
No.
given to you willingly, but you may just have to accept it. Or else, God knows who you're going to actually hurt. Maybe it'll be a town folk. And maybe it'll be Ada.
I'll mull it over. And he kind of just, without another word, begins slowly descending into the library.
Well, it's the best we're gonna get for now. And, Venelin follows behind her father.
Jason will follow behind Vevelin, who is following behind her father.
Okay.
I'm assuming somebody
Cross.
helps Cross down the stairs?
No,
Yes.
Cross gets to the
Yeah.
top of the steps and like firmly plants his feet, staring down into the darkness.
Jason will take a couple steps down, so that he's about knee height to Cross, and will stop. Hop on, I will let you down.
I If it's all the same to you guys, I'd rather not press my luck with the librarian.
That's fair. This is...
That is a very logical choice.
I'm mostly going down to say goodbye to both of my fathers before we have to go deal with Alzin. I won't be long.
Well,
We'll
it
find
would
somewhere
be
else to
rude not
rest.
to say goodbye. I guess a few seconds down there shouldn't hurt. And he'll hop onto Jason's back.
Due to being a furnace, it is rather warm. You got heated seating.
You guys make your way down the steps into the library and find Rollin sitting in the rocking chair once again. He seems to be reading through yet another of the librarian's many books, several of which are in a kind of haphazard stack on a reading table next to the chair. The fireplace in the back is gently crackling. It seems as though Rollin, in your absence, gathered a couple of branches from the forest outside and brought them in to burn. Athan is the first to reach the bottom of the stairs. And he kind of gently places his hands on Rowland's shoulders as he's reading. The act kind of makes him gasp for a moment as he looks up, and they kind of just smile at each other. Though Rowland's is tinged by a note of apprehension as he notes the paleness of Aethlin's skin and the gauntness of his features in the face of what it is that he is turning into. However, nevertheless, Aethan brings a single arm down to embrace him, and he returns it, not exactly getting up from the chair, but ensuring that he knows that his love is returned. Venelin, Cross, and Jason get down shortly after, just in time to see them kind of break from their embrace. And Rowland kind of turns in the rocking chair and see, you found him.
Oh, yes. Was there any doubt?
Given the things that lie in that forest, there's always a little bit of doubt.
No, he trained me too well. If I'm going to go, it's not because of a creature of the night. But
You'll be spending the night in here, then?
no. We'll be moving on.
Where will you be going?
We need to go back and deal with Alzin. And other issues that are currently plaguing us. However, the only thing that we can do is work with him, so that's what we're going to do.
As much as I appreciate your company, we may in fact not be the most welcome of individuals within the library.
From what you told me earlier, I might understand. And Aethan kind of looks at Rowland for a moment, and then eyes you, Venelin. Like, did you four do something to piss off an archfey?
Actually,
No, go ahead, Cross. Maybe you could explain this better.
well, first, allow me to formally introduce myself. I'm Conan Eldervale of the Court of Intent.
Prince. Shouldn't you have an army of Artemisians after you by now?
Oh, been there, done that. Dealt with a blood god. It's a long story. Uh,
Blood god, do you mean the Sangren I keep hearing about in Rowland's books?
yeah, he's right here in my ring. Don't worry about it.
Tim, roll me a D100.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It was, in fact, that moment when everyone's decided to worry about it. There we go. Huzzah! Oh, 46.
You, ever since the ring developed a pinprick on the inside, have relocated it to a necklace on your neck.
Mm-hmm.
However, going to kind of like pull it out to brandish it slightly, you feel it scratch at your chest a bit. And as you pull it out, you note that another set of very small spikes has emerged from that clutch that was emerging earlier to hold the gem in place.
He's not really happy, and it's why we have to go and talk with Alzen.
You kind of take a bit of your shirt to try and wipe the small amount of blood from the scratch off of the ring, and the ring just seems to take it in.
Yeah. Point being, before I met Fenelon, Nella here was the one who overstepped his bounds and brought me into his throne world, tortured me, and attempted to use me to, well, do what he does best.
Steal your true name and use you like a puppet.
Mm-hmm. And even possibly to an extent to usurp the court of intent if he needed to. Out of rage, when we tried to get my name back, he then flat out invaded the court of intent.
That must be why he's a lot smaller now than I remember him being. That's Rowland.
Yes, we did manage to deal a rather hefty blow to him.
He's... Well, I'm actually unsure of what his disposition may be toward us, but I could at least establish possibly of the unfriendly sort.
It would only make sense at this stage.
In that case, you can count this place as one quite potentially dangerous, I suppose. Fine then. Will we see you in the morning?
I'm not sure. We're still currently trying to figure out exactly what the plan is.
Rowland kind of has this very disappointed look on his face. However, Aethlin gives him a very brief squeeze of the shoulders with his own hands.
Not the disappointed dad look! No, she
Very
loves
well.
her father's. When this is over, I will be back.
We'll hold you to that. Do me a favor. If all of this is over and Alzen is for some reason still alive, rectify that for us, will you?
Oh, it's going to be my absolute pleasure.
There's an entire episode called I'm Gonna Kill Him.
Oh, I should inform you, given that we were no longer living in the Heights, I have given away our home to somebody who was very kind to me in Madengard. Given the fact that I didn't know whether or not you were all alive. But, Guardsman Ian Halsey is living there with his family.
Our home is quite a spacious residence. I'm sure there will be more than ample room for all of us.
I would hope so. Oh, we should note, we did also bring the city of New Manhattan down from the sky and into the ocean.
Rowland kind of like blinks twice at that. I, mm,
Don't think about it too hard, Father. It's, it was complicated. There was a lot of moving parts. I got to ride a dragon.
From what I understand, her and Ralakan actually did a very good job at routing Vedran.
Yes, Ralakan and I are rather, an unlikely duo. Even from the beginning. And no, I will not answer any more questions on it. We need to go.
Yeah,
totally not fun. I promise they're not tossing the salad.
Nope.
stop. There, please, just stop.
Okay. Okay. All good. Everything's fine.
Okay. But yeah, we should probably go and try and deal with this as soon as we can. 'Cause. Ow! As he kind of feels the scrapes on his chest.
Yes. We'll need Alzin for that. Let's go. And we're gonna once more ascend out of the library.
Okie
Understood.
Does anything try to stop us from leaving?
Oh god.
Hang, hold the fuck up. Hang on. Cross, you are immediately the first person to start taking off up the stairs. The moment after she says we're off. And you can immediately feel something slightly different beneath your feet. The stairs don't feel like they're made of stone anymore.
Uh-oh.
At first, they start to feel like they're made of branches, then dirt, then mud.
Oh boy.
And as the slope gets slightly steeper, as you start to reach what you think to be the apex of the steps, suddenly the mud seems to just slope into an extremely sheer incline.
Oh.
For the worse, Jason and Venelin, if this were not enough to severely unsettle Cross, unfortunately, he cannot see something that would unsettle him ever greater, which is the fact that despite being at what you are relatively confident is supposed to be at the apex of these stairs, you cannot see the sky outside. You do not remember the stairs being this tall. And Jason, as Cross kind of stops to feel the mud that is definitely not stone underneath his feet, you kind of reach a hand up. Tries to, there is dirt up there. Just a lot of dirt.
You know what?
This is peculiar.
I like to think that I can admit when I'm wrong, and you were definitely right, and we should not have come down here. I am so sorry.
Well, the only thing that I can think of is that when he starts giving you all fake names, I really hope he chooses something better than just Cross.
Yeah, Venlin's just gonna be Chris.
And Jason can be Applesauce.
Nice.
And as a trio, we are then crisscross applesauce.
And Ralakan can be Buns.
Wait, no. Jason is apple, and Ralakan is sauce, and then the four of us are crisscross
Yeah.
applesauce.
Ralakan is the sauce.
How do you think he gets so slimy? It's not just because it's morning.
It's saucy because it's morning.
No, that's so much worse.
It's saucy. This Ralakan bathes himself in ketchup.
I don't know why Ralakan
He's a
being
vampire,
saucy.
so you think it's blood, but it's just ketchup.
No. Oh God, no.
Oh man, that is sus.
Well, no, technically it's sauce.
Yes. We love it here. This is like reverse inspiration.
What does it mean to piss off an archfey?
Sometimes-
Vsauce.
Vsauce Cross here. God, sometimes we say things and it's like the opposite of a call to action. This
No,
is just like
This is the we effed up and need to keep trying to ignore the fact that we effed up by making jokes
Yeah.
absolutely.
instead of facing the consequences of our actions.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
because
don't worry, everything's fine.
This time we don't have the Artemisians to fight him and hold him off while we do the thing that we needed to do.
Don't worry, I'll just throw the blood guy at him, and I'm sure it'll distract him for at least 15 minutes.
No, that sounds like a terrible idea. Just for the record.
Yes.
That does. You should do it.
Well, to be fair, if Nella here does not have his true name, then it's just a slam fight. But that slam fight would also very likely tear apart this throne world and you with it.
Yeah. It's like... Now, hear me out. Hear me out.
Here.
Rollin is gonna kill me. But what if we just set the entire place on fire?
Again.
Again.
I mean, you're more likely to end up getting your brother's name out of it.
To be fair, we didn't do that in this campaign. We did that in Sunday's game. We have not set this library on fire. We have set individual books on fire in another throne world.
And that in and of itself was proven that that did not destroy the book.
We did try to set this library on fire. Remember Ralakan with the flame runes, which completely backfired and had Nella here follow us out of the.
Was that what that was?
Yep, because the book slammed shut on his hand.
Right.
And was used as a tracking device.
Right. You are correct. You are correct.
That was not his finest moment, but was a very good setup for the invasion of the Court of Intent by a very angry Archfey.
Yeah. Said Archfey is now keeping us here. Do we venture back down to try and find him so as to, negotiate our way back out of this throne world?
The word apology is thrown around a lot these days. I'm not apologizing to him.
Oh, oh.
He started this shit.
The word
Jason
apology is
just
thrown around a lot. Fuck that.
Jason pulls out his great sword of wounding. So, how should we negotiate?
Probably not trying to fight the Archfey in his throne world.
Understood.
To be fair, he is
Sheaths
smaller.
his great sword of wounding.
To be fair, he is smaller. May not be as powerful. He's still recovering from the last ass kicking we gave him. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. And without a clear exit out, and we defeat him in his throne world, what do you think happens to us?
Oh, probably torn asunder. But I doubt he'll let it get that far. An Archfey of knowledge typically likes to live because if you're dead, you can't get more knowledge.
Right. Back down the slope we go.
Yep.
Cross will just climb up onto Jason.
And Jason will sled on down.
As you guys begin descending back down the stairs, the mud immediately starts to collapse beneath your feet. And I will need a dexterity save from both Jason and Venelin.
Okay.
Cross is on top of Jason and therefore does not need to make this save. We are off to a great start. We are off to a just immaculate start.
Proposal.
That is a 21.
Beautiful.
Proposal, Alex.
Yes?
Robot wings.
Robot wings? You use the robot wings to shield Cross. As you absolutely eat shit.
Fair.
Meanwhile, Venelin knows exactly one song from the time before the world went to shit, and it's Surfin' USA by the Beach Boys. So she nails it down this slalom.
Okay.
And kind of slides straight. That's not canon, by the way. No. That's not canon. It's probably something edgy, like Immigrant Song or something. But
Wow. I mean, sure. I was thinking more of a band called July Talks, but yeah. Moving on.
In any case, Venelin very deftly slides down this steep hill of mud back into the library proper, while Jason kind of Samus morph balls down after losing his footing. He kind of just pulls the wings around himself and Cross and just rolls right past Venelin into a bookshelf on the other side of the hallway.
You guys okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm doing quite well.
A little dizzy, but I'm okay.
Must
And
recalibrate.
Ethan kind of looks at the two of you that are covered in mud and Cross, and There's. Am I to take it that Nelly here did not take kindly to your departure?
That would be correct. He's not happy we attempted to leave, and now we have other problems. So if you'll excuse me, I have an archfey to piss off again. Because it was me who pissed him off the first time.
I know we just had a talk about how you're your father's daughter and how you're going to do something reckless as you are wont to do, but this seems, pardon my bluntness, particularly foolhardy.
I've done stupider things.
That's not a good thing, daughter. Like, there is no there is no timeline in which Rallin reacts positively to "I've done dumber than piss off a god."
Well, let's see. We jumped off of the island in Manhattan. We've entered Nelly his domain several times.
Yep.
We attempted to set fire to his library.
We successfully stole a book from his library. We
I don't know
decided.
where you gathered the notion that this was a competition.
Oh, it's not. We know. But
No, I'm just very good at keeping track of things.
Yes, and all of these things did result in, working out in our favor in the long run.
And Aethan kind of looks at the four of you and he's just like, why do I feel like the four of you treat foolish acts of grandeur like a game of horse?
There is no answer I can give you that isn't going to disappoint you, so I'm not going to answer that question.
I mean, it's going to disappoint me a lot less than it's going to disappoint Rallin, but...
If it's any consolation, I, for one, am also heavily disappointed. Even though I have participated in a few of these asks myself.
Just
it's like,
programmed to do
Venlin has no letters. Cross has maybe an H. Valakan's got H-O-R. And Jason has H-O-R-S only because, he's literally a robot and has the sensibilities not to do certain things that he knows are too dumb.
I haven't committed any war crimes.
There really aren't many countries left to commit war crimes against.
Well, I still haven't committed any.
Actually, you participated in a Fey war.
Not a war crime! Not technically. I chose a side. That's not a war crime, that's just war.
Yeah, fair enough.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Rallin kind of looks up at Aethlin with significantly more distress than he had before. And Aethlin, is giving that face where he wants to go, "That's my girl," and can't say it out loud.
I should be really disappointed in you right now, but I am so fucking proud of you.
Yeah, no, the very much I am going to put on this very stern face like I have to reprimand you, and then we're going for ice cream.
I'm gonna give you shit in front of your principal because I'm supposed to, and then we're gonna go out and celebrate because what you did was making me very proud.
Father's very disappointed in you. Good job.
Okay.
Sorry, what?
What did you say, Tim?
I was saying, let's move on.
Yes, let's do that.
Um, right then. And Cross will kind of just sort of try to focus into his inner mind's eye to try and see if he can sense Nelly here anywhere around them.
You may make me a nature check.
Seven.
The magic of the Feywilds swirls through this plane at a significantly more tempestuous pace than you are used to. Typically, among the Fey Courts, the Fey Court of Knowledge, despite its place within the shadows of the other four, has always maintained an air of calm to it. However, now you can almost feel the plane shifting beneath your feet as the stone turned to mud beneath you.
Oh, fantastic, we're moving.
It makes sense. Now that his library can manifest near nearly any forest on Earth, however many there are left.
Well, that's not good, considering that Alzin was supposed to be right up outside that door.
No, but perhaps he'll get us where we need to go, maybe without having to deal with Alzin?
Maybe.
I'm not holding my breath because he really doesn't like us. But maybe.
That also makes pinpointing where he is in this plane significantly more difficult. Agreed. Typically, we'd be able to surmise that he'd be right behind that door there, but it opens for no one save him, and we've never seen it open in all our time here.
Well, I guess. And then, Benelin's gonna walk towards the door and just start knocking.
It is unresponsive to you, Venelin.
Sure, I'm not going to stop. You know that really annoying one that they do in like TV shows with the cops? And at first it's gentle and then it's just that pounding on the door to get your attention?
Venelin, roll me a perception check.
19.
You continue pounding away at the door. It is an old wooden thing with several knots inlaid within it. And you can feel it starting to become more and more brittle as you pound at it. Until eventually you see one of the knots in the door begin to crumble slightly. And as you are about to pound at it again, you can just see a wooden spike jut out of the door, right where you were about to lower your hand.
Okay.
And after a brief fermata in which you hold off for a few seconds, the door returns to its original shape.
Yeah, Venelin, that's not gonna work.
The door was almost finished crumbling. Just throwing that out there.
I think the grumbling might have been more of a warning than an actual sign of progress, dear.
Well, if he's going to be that much of a coward as to hide from us, despite being in his throne world, we haven't seen hide nor hair of him. Sounds like he's scared of 4 mortals that caused him a little bit of trouble. Oh, yeah. She just keeps going on like that, standing in front of this door.
He has learned nothing from the Corsifus incident.
Cross is literally just kind of standing there, just kind of like, and just kind of looks to Venelin's and just blankly stares and like, has she always been like this?
Rowland is about to shake his head when Aethlin nods.
And Cross is still gonna stare blankly at them because he can't see them.
Matter.
He nodded his head.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
I-
I do not. What level do you need him at? Okay, give me
Oh, yeah, you guys have time.
15 minutes. I can quickly do something up.
Sure, not a problem.
Right, padding time.
You can feel this plane shifting under your feet. The wood that forms this floor seems to be the only thing stable, as the earth directly beneath it, you can feel it moving kind of as though you were on a boat, though significantly less rocky. Even if you were to make it in there, I'd hazard to say it'd be quite the trouble getting out. In my time here, it's come to my attention that very few of the books in this part of his library actually house too many true names. It's my belief that the most sought after of such names lie within that subsection.
That would make sense. Right then. There has to be another way around the door, and it's probably through the rest of the library. Who knows what kind of traps or maze he's designed for us.
I'll need a time to rest. It's been quite a bit since I've had time to sleep, or meditate, rather.
no time like the present, then.
Besides, you're more than confident enough to handle yourself, aren't you, daughter?
Of course.
Rowan is giving him this face like, why are you enabling her? This is how she ended up by herself in the Heights to begin with. Why did you let her start vampire hunting so young?
I'm sure if we all work together, everything will be fine. That
Inclined to
includes you,
agree.
Sangren. As Cross kind of stares down at the ring. Unless you want to become Nellie his new museum piece, I suggest you start settling in for a minute.
Roll me a D100.
Not nice.
Almost nice.
Just short of a meme number. You're lucky.
One short of nice.
The ring shudders for a brief moment before falling still. You think you're starting to run out of places to put this thing that it won't tear through.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you plan to go now? Or do you just plan to continue accosting him until he arrives?
Well, I'm pretty sure continuing to accost him's not gonna make any sort of progress whatsoever, where he has us right where he wants us. And I believe some of us are still a little... how would one say... not fit at the moment after those battles with those strange wolves. Implying that we haven't had a long rest since our fight with the Displacer Beast.
Jace, you could see Jason trying to buff out some dents in his chassis.
You can see that Cross still has a couple of pretty grievous cuts on his shoulders.
I, for one, think that it may be best for us to first rest up a little bit before we go trouncing about the library looking for him. And perhaps if we're lucky, by the time we're done resting, the library would have arrived at its new destination, and we could try to see if we can get out then. What do you think, guys?
This does seem like a sound plan. I do believe we all could benefit from a bit of a recharge. And hopefully, in this time, we can, like you say, reach at this destination, wherever it might be. And perhaps, if we do encounter Nella here, we can try and negotiate something that might be to our benefit. However, however doubtful it might be.
Finland?
I don't see why we can't take a rest.
Fair enough. Right. How about you, cardboard cutout of Ralakan?
Lime.
I do think that's a good idea.
He just holds up a jar of pool juice.
No.
I'm not going to say the word because I'm scared of TOS. Does TOS care if I say the B word?
I couldn't tell you, but let's just not and move on.
You are correct. The cardboard cutout of Ralakan is him in front of like the 90s Nickelodeon logo. He's slimy because it's Snick.
Oh, I missed that programming block.
Same here. Like right now would be that programming block. Right now your shirt would be green because you're getting hit with the big shabuzi. In any case, allow me to kindly refresh the campaign.
Yeah,
We love it here.
I don't. This boy got a lot
You're
of
not
health.
supposed to.
This boy got a lot of health.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I suppose that, yep, the trend continues. That everything but your characters seem to have hit points, Maddie.
Uh-huh.
Ah, and there it is, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. No.
I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. Very, 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 very much. This will serve me quite well, and you not at all. Die.
Yay.
In any case. You guys are going to take a rest?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Is anyone going to take a watch?
Jason will offer to take first watch.
Cross will take second watch.
Fenelon will take the final.
Beautiful. Jason,
Yes.
I'm going to need a perception check.
Perception. Let's see. Hey, oh, we're doing great today. That's a 9.
We love it. We love it. Perfect. You love to see it. You don't love to see it. Jason, the shifting of the earth beneath you seems to mess with your sensors slightly, as most of your motion detection protocols, which are based on sort of like vibrations and things like that, are kind of getting thrown out of whack by the fact that the ground underneath the wood is constantly moving.
There's a lot of calibrations going on.
Your sensors are constantly recalibrating to new, like, ground displacement parameters, and they keep having to recalibrate. It's not fun. It's using up a lot of memory, and you already had too many Chrome tabs open. So, so you're not sure how this is panning out.
This did not prove fruitful. Just his internal GPS is constantly like resetting the pin in different areas of the map.
Okay. Jason,
Yes.
I will need one more perception check.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see if I can get higher than a 10 this time. Hey, a 20. Dirty 20.
Cool. Near the end of your watch, you start to prepare to sort of get up and wake up Cross to take the second watch. However, it becomes aware to you that it's getting a bit difficult to move.
Hmm.
And you sort of look down to see that the ground underneath you has changed slightly.
Peculiar.
Rather than wood, it appears to be this strange viscous earthy substance. You'd almost call it mud, but it feels too dry to be.
Hmm. Does it feel like I'm sinking?
At the moment, you're not really moving too much, but as you kind of like shift in place slightly, you can feel yourself beginning to do so, yes.
Oh dear. Is there any any sort of anything I can grab onto around me?
The nearest things are the bookshelf directly behind you, which is absolutely massive. It stretches up to like the ceiling,
Gotcha.
as well as one of four chairs circling the reading table. They're rather light. The rocking chair is the only one that's particularly heavy and it's out of reach. The other three are kind of like on the lighter side.
Okay. Jason is going to try and get his at least one or both of his arms over to keeping them above what is presumably quicksand. And he's going to try and latch on to one of the bookshelves. If there is like a, I guess like the actual one of the shelves holding the books is going to try and clamp right on there. Is that possible?
You kind of reach out, and your hand kind of clamps onto one end of the bookshelf. There isn't really like a proper handhold. However, there is enough bookshelf there that you're able to get a decent grip, and I will allow you to make a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw, you said. Hey!
You're good at those.
That's another dirty 20.
Absolutely beauteous! As hey, game log, I didn't pay you to close. So you can feel the shifting sand beneath you begin to pull once again as you kind of start shimmying to grab at the bookshelf. But you manage to hold your ground. Despite the fact that you don't encounter many things heavier than you, the bookshelf seems capable enough of supporting your weight, at least for now, as it doesn't really budge at your pulling at it.
Okay. But for now, it's not helping me get out.
Not quite. It is definitely pulling, but you are at least able to resist its pull thus far.
Okay. Now I'm wondering, is this worthy of turning on my alarm?
I'm going to use that 20 perception check of yours. I'm using your 20
sorry, my
perception
bad.
check. A similar situation does not be befalling any of your comrades.
Okay.
The rest of your comrades are meditating and or sleeping just fine.
Alright. Jason's turning on his alarm. Just full-on car alarm right now.
You just like took a recording of the beat. And everybody can make me a constitution save at disadvantage. Everybody includes Maddie.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta open the box. That's a 9 for me.
Beautiful.
What
Both of you
say?
are very promptly roused from your stupor by the car alarm. And upon going to approach Jason, do not need much else to be informed of his situation. It appears that the ground directly beneath him is transformed into quicksand.
I do apologize for waking you all. There seems to be an emergency.
Did you get shot at, Jason?
Though it seems like... Oh. It seems that the ground has melted away into something rather sand-like in substance, and I am currently sinking. Any sort of help would be most appreciative. Also, do be careful of your own.
Is the ground underneath our feet solid?
Yes.
Then in that case, I'm gonna pull the rope out of my bag, and we're gonna chuck the end at Jason with orders to tie that around his waist, and
Stood.
then me with my 0 modifier on strength is going to need Cross's help as she puts the rope in his hands and politely asks him to pull.
Don't worry, I'm only almost a ton.
That's okay.
We're
Cross
gonna
is
go in there
pretty
with
strong.
him.
Like, pulls back and then you're all in the quicksand. Wasn't there a
Okay.
movie where that happened?
I know it's a common gag in Looney Tunes, but here,
Probably.
let me see if I can pull him in. Just a strength check.
Yep, that's a strength check.
He would have advantage because I am still assisting, even though I don't have anything. So
Can I use athletics?
Normally this would not apply. Since she is helping, I will allow it.
Okay. $16.
I will be also trying to pull myself out, depending on where they're pulling from. Because if I'm grabbing the bookshelf behind me and they're pulling from that way, then it'll be a little bit difficult.
And unfortunately, that is the case, as they cannot pull from the wall.
I see. Okay.
You let go of the bookshelf and allow Venelin and Cross to attempt to pull you out. And while they do manage to get you close enough to solid ground that you're able to grip the wooden solid ground above you, Cross is quite visibly straining himself just to get you where he is now. And it is not making a great deal of progress. You may also make me a strength check to try and pull yourself out.
Okay. Gonna also ask, athletics possible? Or just strength?
You can go ahead and use athletics as well.
That is a 21.
Based on where previously you could feel the sand welling up around your midsection, you can start to feel it begin to free slightly as you manage to start pulling yourself out very slowly. It seems to be kind of reaching around like your leg area. So you two are making a pretty decent amount of progress together.
Okay.
Ross, make me another one.
Okay. $21.
Nice.
And Jason, one more.
Okay. This time I'm going to unravel my wings and start flapping. And see if I can,
Give yourself advantage.
yeah. Well, at 14, I'm glad I got advantage, because, that other one was a nat 1.
Ross, You start making progress and finally beginning to get your bearings to start pulling him out. And then Jason pulls out his wings. And he attempts to flap in order to give himself some more momentum until the wings get stuck in the quicksand.
Oh!
And
Making
they
my
are
life
giving the
harder.
sand several new points of contact to start pulling him deeper. That kind of set you back a couple of steps.
I apologize.
It's okay, Jason. I'll get you out, don't worry.
Very much appreciate this. You are doing a splendid job.
One more time. Cross. Okay, okay.
19?
Alright.
One more for you, Jason. This will not be an advantage.
Come on. 13.
Cross, you start pulling once more. And you can feel yourself starting to pull back and back and back as you get a couple of steps through. And something catches, causing you to lose your footing for a split second, and you kind of just fall flat on your behind. And Venlin kind of falls to the ground behind you as well. And Jason, you're able to maintain a good grip so you're not, like, sinking as precipitously. However, the rope has grown slack, and while they're still holding onto it, it's very clearly becoming significantly harder to lift you out as you anticipated.
Mm. Well, this is a bit of a conundrum.
Well, I have one other idea. Not a bit of a fan of it. And Cross will deploy his astral arms and try to lift Jason out himself. Assuming that the rope has...
The rope is not following it.
Oh, the rope has... Okay, the rope hasn't fallen out?
No. You guys still
Okay.
have a grip on the rope. It's just that after 3 attempts, your strength kind of like gave out for a bit and you fell backwards.
Okay.
You did not fall into the pool. You are still out of the pool. You are still on solid ground, and you still have a grip on the rope.
Okay. Then Cross is going to have his astral self manifest and attempt to assist in the pulling.
What?
One more?
Let's give it another go. Oh!
20.
Hey!
Laysan, come on. Big money. No whammies.
I really want to pop a rage. However, the very fact that my Storm Soul fire will set anything around me, any flammable thing around me on fire, in a library with a rope is probably not a good idea. Um, hmm. Well, we'll get there if we have to. Nat 20.
Oh, man. We're here. We are live. Cat Lauer reporting. You know. Bow. No. Bow. There we go. Yes, please. There we go. Cross, using your astral arms, you manage to hit a stride, getting quite a few steps back as you get back into the rhythm of pulling. Venelin, you keep it up in a rhythmic pull as you pull through, kind of reminiscent of when you'd play tug of war. And Jason, the moment you can feel your legs starting to get free, you similarly begin to sort of start pulling yourself back up. And eventually, lo and behold, you two manage to pull yourselves free. Jason, you are out of the quicksand.
Thank you very much, Cross. Thank you very much, Vendelin. This was very much appreciated. The rest of the watch was uneventful.
No problem, Jason.
Good to know.
What happened? Where did the quicksand come from?
Essentially, it just manifested. The ground itself just started, well, much like how the stairs kind of turned into branches and then into mud. Very much the same thing happened to this floor. I'm quite thankful it didn't reach any of you. I can't imagine something like this happening to you while you are sleeping.
Wonder why he didn't try doing that. If it was meant to throw a trap or something.
Well, on your watches, I suggest getting to a higher ground.
We'll make sure we do so.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Ross, it is your watch next, correct?
Yeah.
Shortly after Shortly after Jason moves to another locale and transition into an alert state, you sort of head to begin your watch. And immediately note that it is. The quicksand has almost immediately returned to being wood. You kind of reach your foot out to the location where it was. Not really to like stick your foot in it, but more to regard the chasm where the wood ends and the quicksand begins. Only to realize that it's wood all around. It appears to have returned to its original shape.
Okay. Cross is going to have his quarterstaff out to just sort of act as effectively like a cane or a guide to just be on the lookout for it.
Fair enough. And as such, you may give me a perception check.
Okay. 17.
right down the middle. We dig it. Cross, the low rumble beneath your feet doesn't seem to cease throughout the duration of the night. Every so often, you can see books kind of shift lightly in bookshelves. On very rare occasions, one or two will fall out and just find themselves clattering to the ground. However, your watch is otherwise relatively uneventful until maybe a half hour before the end, when suddenly you hear something that sounds like a latch flipping.
Like a door latch?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. As a small sign of good faith, I would like to think that Cross would pick up the occasional book that would be falling if it was by him
Mm-hmm.
and put it back on the shelf.
Okay.
And see. He'll go inspect the door.
The door feels exactly the same as it always has. However, it appears to be just barely open. The slightest crack that does admit you ingress, should you so choose.
Hmm. Alert the party. Fenlin gets riled up again. Gets upset with the Archfey. Gets us further trapped in his realm. Gets us into deeper trouble. Don't tell the party. Go in. Try to negotiate. Come to an understanding. Make a stupid decision. But we can progress outward. Hmm. He will take his quarterstaff and gently poke the ground inside.
The
Underneath his...
ground is solid. In fact, it feels as though it were made of stone rather than the wood of the rest of the library.
He'll kind of turn his head back to the rest of the group in their meditative and alert states.
I will warn you. The moment you turn your head to regard the party, the door shuts. It does not lock, but it shuts.
Suddenly, Cross gets an idea. Bad idea, but one that he can firmly rely on.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna open up the door.
Yeah.
He's gonna go inside
Uh-huh.
and not wake the party.
Okay.
I'm going to put my faith that if this goes wrong, that I'm expecting it to. My faith is that Venolin is going to be so goddamn pissed off that it's going to get us out of the situation.
I love that we're just relying on my anger.
I
Thing is, I wholeheartedly believe that.
if she's half as angry as Arcus,
Oh no, she's angrier
they
than
have a
Arcus.
chance.
She's angrier than Arcus.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
Venolin, okay, Arcus has a hold on 90% of her emotions. Every time she has ever had conversations with people, it has been, for the most part, calm, cool, and collected.
Ah, so when she decided to end the world again, then it was totally dope. Completely level-headed, 100% in the zone.
Yes!
All part of the plan.
Exactly!
All according to Keikaku.
Eh.
You think that's a good thing?
I
Oh.
didn't say that! Anyway, no, Venolin is an angry little Kremlin.
For my to effectively succeed in this, it really is going to come down to putting in faith of Venolin acting exactly how I'm expecting her to act, based on past decisions.
My entire plan is hinging on the fact that one of my party members is going to become completely unhinged. I like this plan. Let's do it.
Venolin seems to get the job done when the crazy switch is flipped.
And we were worrying about Ralakan going off the fucking rails?
Well, Ralakan's not here, and I guarantee you that he'd probably do the same thing.
They'd be going off the rails together.
Lots
Yeah.
of angry southern noises.
So
Hey,
what
man's
are
a
we-
be just shooting fools and repealing voting rights all day.
So, what awaits me on the other side of the door, Alex?
The other side of the door strikes you immediately for one very different reason, and that is that the ground is not shifting here. Wherever this is, as the door shuts behind you, it seems to be separate from the rest of the throne world. This place, you can tell immediately as you can feel the ground beneath your feet, is stationary. One moment.
Take your time. And he's off into the void.
Yep.
I'm entitled to my bad ideas.
Absolutely. I don't even think it is a bad idea. This is a plan with previous plans experience behind it.
You know your party.
Yeah. You know that
Okay.
if Venolin wakes up for her watch and Cross is missing, she's gonna lose her fucking shit.
Yeah.
Either play it safe and keep spinning our wheels,
As I
We'll be a
said,
little adventurous today.
the ground here is stationary, leading you to believe that it is definitely not within the same place and shifting ground of the rest of Nelehir's throne world. Wherever this place is, it is not moving with the rest of it. That door seems to tether this area to the rest of the throne world proper. This area is significantly more claustrophobic. You can feel a faint warmth from above, likely from a chandelier or some other sort of torchlight. And you can feel several bookshelves around you, though in a significantly tighter formation than the sprawling hallways of the rest of Nelihir's throne world. Every so often, you'll feel small tables in between the bookshelves. Some have books, some have other artifacts in them. You can feel pens on some, quills and ink on others. You can feel a knife on one. Until finally you reach a single short hallway where there are no bookshelves at all. There is a single long table playing the entirety of this hall, and at the end, you can feel another heat source. There are several books on the table as you make your way across, though they are written in rather than inscribed in Braille, so unfortunately you are incapable of reading them. However, you can hear the faint breath of someone sitting at the end of the hall.
Hello, is someone there?
I thought we'd take this opportunity to talk, Conan.
Of course.
He kind of gently taps his foot to indicate where he is. There's a seat across from me, if you wish to take it.
Fairly well. He will take a seat.
You and your friends have quite some nerve, Prince.
I don't feel like we should be talking about that right now.
And why, pray tell, do you think that is?
Well, if memory serves, you're the one who abducted me first. That led to that whole incident occurring.
I am an archfey. I deal in the names that I choose to deal in. And if you wanted your name back, I do quite say that all you need to do is ask, and we could have made a deal, as I do with all who enter my domain.
Yes, but need I remind you that you overstepped your bounds by also prying your way into the court of intent?
after being incited to do so by your meddling and disgusting little companion.
And again, that is after you and your attempts to subjugate me in your fashions. But I am willing to let bygones be bygones and water under the bridge and such.
Likewise, at present your little adventuring troupe yet lives.
Truth be told, if Fenelon's brother was not currently under your care, or her family were taking up residence within your library for the time being and for their research, I'd say that our paths probably would not have crossed again for at least another 100 years.
In that case, then I am glad that I have made the deals that I have made, as they have brought you once again here. So, if you wish to leave, like all great wishes, it can be negotiated.
Well, that depends. Do you want a blood god rampaging within your throne world?
No, I do believe that might be quite problematic. However, given that from what I know, your plans are to dispose of this blood god, having one in my employ would be advantageous. As such, he is the terms of my negotiation. When you defeat him, when you end him, you will surrender his true name to me. And as a show of good faith upon completion of your charge, I will even surrender the true name of your little friend here. Jarnick, was it?
Hmm. And hmm. Give the god of knowledge a not even a god, an archfey. A librarian who keeps a rather messy library. Very unorganized, very dirty, very sad. Hmm. And give you a blood god. Hmm. You two strike a hard bargain. And holding my friend's brother hostage is also quite possibly the most disgusting thing I've ever heard from. And I had to deal with a madman who thought he was a god. Please do not take my cavalier attitude with you as anything such of disrespect, but I feel like you're not in as much control of the situation as you think you are.
How so?
Well, Step 1 is the Artemisians find out that I'm down here. Well, no, I would say that maybe step 3. That would be step 3 that you might be overlooking. Because step 1 is Venelin wakes up. And the door out of here is not there. I would like to remind you that every single second you seem to be screwing with her family is riling her up. And you have borne witness to what she is capable of when she is truly in that hate-filled craze of when she wants to destroy something, it gets destroyed. I believe the old saying is, hell hath no fury.
And indeed, Cross, what is there stopping me from spitting her out into one of the thousands of forests remaining on this ball of rock?
And you think that's going to stop her? She already rage-filled marched across the wasteland to chase after a single vampire on the sheer thought that he ends up killing her family. And I know you're not going to kill us because you have nothing to gain from it. That's step 2. In fact, killing me will probably cause even more trouble to you than it's even worth.
Due to step 3, I presume.
Exactly. And not to mention what the other fake hordes might do to you.
I think you fail to recall, then, the way that their fearless leader, Kieran Halloran, begged you to leave my domain lest you incur my wrath within my throne world.
Yes.
Pleaded for your lives and his own.
Yes, I would suppose so, but then again, his temper and depiction of how he views things tends to change like night and day sometimes, as is with most beings who come from the court of chaos.
Believe me, there is a reason that the Artemisians nor any other force within the Feywilds dares challenge me on my turf. There is a reason this hall stands divided from the rest of my library. And there is a reason I bring you here rather than meeting you there.
And then here's another question for you. Here's step 4. Do you honestly think that I'm going to let you get away with any of this? Even in your own fucking little throne world here? This miserable excuse for a plane of existence?
I think you find yourself with very little resembling choice, young one. If you wish to leave and have your party intact and together again, you may agree to my terms. Surrender the true name of Sangren to me upon your defeat of him. And not only may you leave this place with your lives unmolested, But upon completion of your charge, I will return the true name of Jarnik Dontar.
If you want Sangrid's fucking name, you'll unleash him now. Because I'd sooner fucking die than give you control of him.
I've met many like you, you know. In my travels and my eons of life in this place. And the tenacity of those scant few across all of these years. It never fails to fill me with this sense of, well, I'd almost call it admiration if it wasn't so very misplaced.
Oh, would you just stuff it, you overgrown charlatan centipede insect piece of garbage? You hide behind other people's names to preserve your own pathetic existence. Shut up!
Ross,
Mhm.
I need a charisma saving throw.
Oh my god. Fucking Cross taking pages out of Venelin's book. I love it.
Is this a charm effect?
No.
Okay. 21.
Ross, as you begin to erupt into your tirade, the ground immediately begins to open beneath you. And it begins to catch you off balance for a brief moment before you immediately dive roll backwards away from it.
Oh, this is great. Wonderful. You're losing the fucking argument, and I've hurt your little stupid feelings. You tortured me, you asshole! Do you really think I'm just gonna give you what you want?
I think, as he lifts a book from the table, that at any moment now I can have any number of my denizens swarming into that chamber while your friends sleep. I think that at any moment that quicksand can take any one of them and spit them out across the world, somewhere truly bereft of life. I think that even were I to take your life within this place, that there is not one force in one of the Fey plains that would deign to cross me in my own land.
Oh, stuff it, you fucking cockroach! Do you understand what you're meddling with? Oh, the great and powerful Archfey of knowledge can't seem to grasp fucking common sense. Yeah, I will admit. Do I have a bit of an arrogant streak? Maybe. And is my faith possibly misplaced in my friends? No, I don't think so. Do you have all of this power that you claim that you have? That's not yours? Listen. I'm willing to be reasonable about this. You're the one being stubborn.
I have my terms, and I don't believe that I've heard a counteroffer.
Well, the counteroffer is this. You release her brother. You let her parents have their little romp through the library and figuring out what they want. And we don't ever come back and disrupt whatever it is you're doing ever again, aside from, well, let's say, anyone that we know ends up being coming under your influence again. Or, quite possibly in an amendment to this, you really cross the line again. I mean, unless you want us to, when we get out again, come back down here with a bunch of, flasks full of oil and just start setting fire to the entire place. With an even larger angry mob.
Believe me, many before you have tried.
Cross will take a moment to hesitantly regard the necklace around his neck.
Roll me another charisma save. You will have advantage on this one.
Okay. $18.
As you look to the necklace, it's become aware to you that over the course of this conversation, as you've been steadily getting angrier and angrier, that the necklace has been thrumming gently, the ring on it gently pulsating, roughly in time with the sound of your own heartbeat. At this point, as you regard it, you can almost sense that it is resonating with your anger. And the whispers you swore you'd heard in times since past, while barely audible, you can begin to hear them again. As you ponder the unthinkable in the face of this archfey.
No, I don't think he wants that to happen either, now does he?
If memory serves, you don't have long before he breaks out of that ring, do you?
And do you think he's going to deal with you the way you want him to?
Provided his true name, I doubt it'll very much matter.
Because I can guarantee you he's not going to want to listen to you.
That's the thing about having one's true name, Cross. Whether or not people want to listen tends to have very little effect
And
on
do
whether or
you
not they
think
do.
that he's going to give it to you? You think I'm stubborn? I had to kick this guy's ass to get him into this thing.
Look how that's turned out. You're hanging on for dear life to the thing as it threatens to break through the very prison you designed for it.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly okay with unleashing it in here. On you. Because the whispers that I'm hearing right now is telling me to kill you.
You know what unleashing that in here would do you not?
Oh, yes.
My death would tear this throne world asunder, killing not only you, but your friends, spilling out into the Feywilds, infecting every corner of it.
And do you think I care?
I'd think if one of your stature would, Prince.
Well, let me put it to you this way. You would be at fault because you're the one not stopping it. You're the one who's locking us in here. The destruction of the entire Feywilds will be on your head if you manage to pull yourself together after he's done tearing your head off.
Nelahir's smile finally, after a protracted argument, flattens into a scowl. You'd destroy an entire plane of existence just to spite me. Both your families. And the lives of every living thing in this plane of existence.
If it means not another soul has to be enslaved by you, yes. Life moves on, even if you're not here to record it. But maybe you should stick to that job that you were given. Oh, the high and mighty Nelly here, God of knowledge. Your job was supposed to record history and knowledge. It was your own selfish desire to collect people's names and laziness that started dragging people down here and into your service. You're one of the protectors of the Feywilds. Start acting like one. If we don't get out of here, find out where he is, he's going to get out. We need to deal with him. I'm here talking with you, instead of just trying to throw a punch at you, doing hells know what I could do to you. And you to do to me in this place. What you could do to my friends. I'm here, talking with you, because of what you have done and the situation that you have painted everyone into. My terms are simple. You let us go. You let her brother go. You let her parents have their little romp at the library and then let them go. Whenever they wish to leave. In exchange, you don't get a blood god rampaging through your library and possibly destroying all of the Feywilds. Well, Guardian?
The scowl on Nelahir's face furrows further at the contemplation of your proposal. However, after a prolonged wait, he finally speaks and says, Time passes a tad differently in this area from the throne world proper. You'd best leave before they begin to wonder as to your whereabouts.
Think about our negotiation. And have a nice day. Knife goes under K, not N, by the way.
Benlin, you're just sort of waking up and beginning your preparations to begin the final watch when Cross appears to be absent. It only begins to become a bit distressing for about a minute before suddenly the latch on the door flicks open and the door creaks wide very suddenly to reveal an extremely frustrated Cross storming forth from the door.
I take it that watch didn't go well.
Oh, no, actually, the watch went pretty well. I'm just a little angry, that's all. Nothing too crazy, nothing too good.
Uh-huh.
But he will gently close the door behind him.
Angry about what?
He was determined to keep us here if it meant the destruction of the entire Feywilds.
Okay, well, not too particularly surprised at that. But how does that have to do with your rather sour disposition?
Well, it started off with a simple conversation that quickly divulged into a negotiation that was heavily in his favor.
Uh huh. And
And
whose
he.
name did he want?
Oh, he wanted Sangren's.
Oh, well, absolutely not.
Yeah, I found that incredibly unacceptable, and he was finding that my attitude was a little unacceptable. So I adjusted it accordingly.
But your attitude has been nothing but polite. What? I'm confused.
I may or may not have taken a few pages out of your book, actually.
And I
After the
missed
polite
it?
approach stopped working. I know, I know.
Oh,
I'm sure I can get the memory and share it with you later.
oh yes, please. I am so upset that I missed that. Not
That
actually. I'm
being
so proud of you.
that being said, while negotiations broke down, I built them back up. After I tore down his sham of an idea, which was in exchange for the blood god's name, he was actually going to give you back your brother's name. Which I have a feeling that even despite everything, he still wouldn't take that deal.
No. No, I wouldn't.
So I renegotiated the deal. Instead, I first threatened him with the idea that, well, constantly antagonizing you was bad for his health.
Well, that's because it is.
Yes. And he didn't seem to care.
Oh, well, that's
So
unfortunate. Sounds like I need to
I,
set fire to the library then.
I'll try that. But right now he's thinking about what I told him.
Oh. Then I will merely just spark a torch and then wait.
I may have let my anger of him take myself to a bit of a darker place where my resolve was really tested, and I do hope you don't feel bad on me for thinking this, but if I did have to sacrifice everyone, if it means ensuring that he doesn't do this to anybody else, not in a heartbeat.
I Cross, we have had many tough decisions thrust upon us since we have started this journey, and none of them have been easy. The decision about whether or not to, sink the Isle of New Manhattan. Do we land it amongst debris where, we have had numerous decisions where the lives of thousands were rested upon our hands. They're never easy to make,
Yes,
and no
well,
one will ever appreciate any of the decisions that go into making one.
mhm. I'm glad you understand.
Yes, I do.
Needless to say, he's going to be thinking about what I told him. He's going to think about the deal that I gave to him. And it's up to him to flip that coin. Do be careful for your watch. He was looking over his books again.
Oh, I am always careful on watch. Get some rest. Sounds like you've had a busy night.
Boy.
And then Venelin is going to settle herself on a table. Sitting cross-legged on a table. Something that Rollin absolutely 100% would hit her for. But she gonna do it anyway.
By the way, Alex,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't a bluff.
I know. I'm slightly disturbed. Like, I didn't think I'd have to invoke Dr. Doofenshmirtz here. But if I had a nickel for every time a party member approached a monolithic entity and casually discussed ending the world, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice!
At least it wasn't the same player who did it.
I think it's
You know
more
what?
the fact that it came from me.
You know what? I think Tim channeling Maddie for his entrance into Juilliard still counts as Maddie.
Alright, fair. Not gonna argue with you on that one.
1.5 Maddies. Maddie 0.5. Matt. You okay, Tim?
Yeah.
You're a bit red over there.
It was more the fact that I was talking for a very long time, channeling a lot of energy into that tirade and focusing on my brain power to not misspeak.
Mr. O'Connor goes to Washington. I dig it.
I should really go into politics.
Stop! Venelin.
Yo.
Perception check for favor.
Use those special eyes.
Right?
My brand.
Fuck.
How
Well,
fuck is fuck?
That was a nat 1 + 1 for 2.
She's always careful.
However, the good news is I can't fall asleep because I'm a fucking elf.
Ooh. Okay.
However, this clearly is not ideal.
No, not at all. No, it is not. It is not ideal. Unideal. Idealent. So you are quite distracted by the idea of what Cross sounds like swearing. The idea of Cross swearing at a fly, let alone a human being, let alone an archfey, is such an entertaining sight that you find yourself almost trying to mimic what his voice would sound like saying the word fuck, and you can't do it. It never sounds quite right like it does in your head.
Okay. Oh no, I'm gonna
I
turn
like
into
to call it the
Deadpool.
New York effect.
No, I feel
It's
like
the water.
I'm gonna turn into like Deadpool, where he asks Colossus to say the word fuck. Just once.
Before he
Dies.
dies.
Anyway.
Your watch is extremely uneventful as you attempt to reenact a spirited negotiation with an archfey in which you attempt to destroy an entire plane of existence. Well, in which you threaten to destroy an entire plane of existence. Not attempt. That would be another person.
To be fair, Arcus didn't attempt. She did.
That's not a good.
Yeah. Anyway.
What is a good argument is the fact
Yo,
that
every single Maddie character can be summed up as how did I know there'd be consequences for my actions? It's every single one.
No, just
It's
every time I play
everyone.
with you.
Why?
To be fair, that's like 2 out of like 30 characters I've played thus far.
You know what?
Look, sometimes I just want to play a harm bow, okay?
Har-
A harm bow. She's
I
not
hadn't,
like golden retriever enough to be a himbo, and she's
I
super
hadn't,
dangerous. Therefore, she is a harm bow.
I, I get it. The name is very apt. I just hadn't heard it before. So,
Writing that
took me
down.
a second for my brain to process the information. And, please stand by while I roll psychic damage.
Spence isn't even here!
I have
Whoops.
taken 9 psychic damage as a result of Maddie introducing vocabulary to me I have never heard.
oh, damn it!
What?
Nella here said cross off, and Spaz wasn't even here to see it.
That's okay, that's what we got the VODs for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Your watch is relatively uneventful. However, at some point near the end, you begin to note that the thrumming of moving earth beneath the library seems to have ceased.
Okay.
Hmm. Jason,
Yo.
given that you have a very designated alert duration,
Mm-hmm.
at the immediate end of it, you rise from your stupor to find Venelin sort of winding down from the end of her watch.
Hello, Venelin.
Hello.
Have you noticed anything interesting on your watch?
No. Although I do have to admit I was a little bit distracted. You see, Cross had some negotiations with the lord of this particular realm.
Oh, wonderful.
Uh-huh. In which apparently he channeled his inner me. And then I just kind of spent the entire time imagining what it would sound like if he said the word fuck.
Hmm.
And I can't seem to get it right.
Now, by channeling you, do you mean being irrationally angry?
I think more threatening intense amounts of bodily harm and or property damage.
I see.
Although I feel like he may have used the threat of me being irrationally angry as a deterrent. And I'm not quite sure if I should be offended or not that everybody seems to think that I am just going to go completely and utterly feral. I'm going to take it as a compliment.
As you should.
It's what they refer to as love deterrence.
But no, everything was uneventful, and at some point this throne world stopped moving.
That is. Now that you say that, does seem like that. Wonderful. And I do have full confidence that, despite Ross supposedly channeling his inner you, that everything happened to go according to plan.
Yes, and the only thing that we have to hope for is that he decided to take Cross's terms, and we can move on.
Amazing. Well, other than almost being consumed by quicksand, I think this was a successful journey.
I would be inclined to agree, although I am sorry that you got caught by the quicksand.
Oh, no bother. I am sorry to have awoken you.
I would much rather help a friend in need anyway.
Almost lost ourselves a $12 handcart. That is a very old reference.
I have no idea what it's even from.
Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Vanilla just kind of like slaps her hand on Jason's shoulder. This man can fit so much emotional support into it. Hot damn.
The Fey Court of Knowledge would like to cordially welcome its new...
No. Don't.
small child. No, of course not. Him.
I feel like just mentioning Blazing Saddles is a violation of TOS, so let's move on.
It's not, but we're not going to stay on the topic of Blazing Saddles for very long because it was a very racist old movie. Even though it
On
was
purpose.
satire.
It was
Satire.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. It's wonderful. It's an absolute triumph of cinema that would never be made again.
You know what? I think the only person in this chat who can talk about it is Alex.
Melanin. In any case, there is sunlight breaking through from the stairwell, which leads you to believe that the exit has opened once again. The stairs are, in fact, once again made of stone.
Well, Cross, it looks like whatever you did worked.
Well, I hope he agreed to all of the terms.
I do too. I heard that you channeled your inner Venolin. Did you by chance happen to say the word fuck?
Want to say at least 10 times?
Oh, could you say it once more? Please?
Fuck. 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 And he will continue to do that 10 times.
Please, Cross?
Very well.
Yay!
And that is where we are going to end the session for tonight.
The super defeated. Fine.
I would very much like to thank our sponsor, chiefly D&D Beyond. That is D, the letter N, D, Beyond.com. A massive repository for all things 5th edition, as well as a sprawling homebrew compendium to draw from or add to for a small subscription fee. Next week, you will see the party emerge somewhat victorious from Nelahir's library and decide on their next course of action, namely involving their tenuous alliance with Alzon von Karst. And now getting into the schedule for next week. What do we got going on tomorrow, Maddie?
Tomorrow is another episode of Vernheim.
Yes.
Monday they are on a mid-season, or I believe a mid-season break until the end of the month. Tuesday is another episode of our Star Wars campaign, The Remnant Shadow. On Wednesday we have another episode of False Skull and Knights. Thursdays you can find me running my homebrew, A Knight's Ransom, with a full party.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, they've reached Arcala, guys, and have met Jarvan. No, they've met Karthus and have been asked to kill Jarvan.
Oh. That sounds entirely kosher and not sus at all.
Well,
Old Jarvan.
they brokered a deal with Karthus, which was, we'll take care of Jarvan if you let the army through. And Karthus agreed. So, that being said, Friday, I believe they have another episode over on Precarious's channel, with their horror game they're running. But beyond that, we'll be back next Saturday with another episode of The Stolen Cities, hopefully with our resident fish boy vampire showing up.
Abso-freaking-lutely. As always, I would like to thank every single one of you for coming out to sit with us tonight. And remember, wash your hands, wear a mask, get vaccinated. Really shouldn't have to say this. Be kind to one another. And roar for initiative. Have a wonderful night.